Again, you get a hard knockdown Brave counter. Maybe don't run a Belial here, right? Like, maybe, like, learn from the mistake in the first round. Don't delay and throw GG. Like, get the hard knockdown Brave counter and then immediately toss GG or something. I'm not entirely sure what, like, the optimal mid-screen Ferry is, but I'm sure you know it better than I do, Raha. But, like, yeah, like, this situation, even though you are on offense and are plus, this situation is probably just straight up not in your favor. You're probably going to take more damage on average here than you do to Belial on average, right? If we, like, did some rough back-of-the-napkin math for how likely every situation is to happen. Like, and even if close L, close H does work here, and you close L, close H's ass, do you do this much to him? I really don't, especially with him having super and you not having super, which is another thing you could take into account for, like, a reason to approach or not to approach. But in that case, without super, there's no way you hit him half this hard, right? So, all right, folks, we are back. More Grand Blue, doing some more replay review as well. September 23rd on November 11th. We're getting there. We're moving, okay? There's actually a lot, good few reviews on the 23rd. The other one we're going to do today is also the 23rd, probably. If that's, yeah. These ones from John Gramble here is more like he's making a breakdown video himself and he wants some suggestions. It's probably not, he's doing fine. We'll get to the 26th today, gotcha, because we're going to do, I'm going to do this and I'm going to record 2 more. So yeah, 4 replays takes us to here. Oh, but then look, then there's some jumps for tomorrow. Okay. I'm emboldened to try and get through the backlog here, so let's see. Hello, Lactu. Alright, so, Raha, TLS run, last straw, right, Keena's bracket there, versus MBK, Belial. Very, very good Belial, obviously, MBK. So this is some serious, high-level stuff right here, right? Tournament VOD between 2 very strong players. Raha, just, like, it feels like almost out of nowhere, Raha just, like, exploded and went from, like, pretty solid fundamental player to just, like, actually, you know, fighting and beating some of the best players that we've got, right? So let's see. This is Ferry Belial, too. I'm a little nervous since I don't do this often. I know I made some really dumb mistakes. Happens to everyone, right? But I figured I should try since I've been really stuck lately. Also, yeah, a good way to get fresh perspectives. A good way to, you know, to try and figure stuff out that you might not be able to see yourself. How am I supposed to give advice to Raha, my GOAT? Well, this is a 4-minute VOD. I think it's just maybe one game or 2 really quick games. There might not be a ton that I can add to this. We'll see. If not, maybe we can do 3 in this video. Who knows? There's a lot more I saw, but I'm curious to see another person's perspective, and maybe where I could be doing better. I was thinking of adding my sets with Necrotech too, but it's kind of long. I was playing Esper for sets and tips in the future. Okay, sure. So yeah, Ferry, Belial, right? Not wonderful. Also a little bit grainy. That's fine. Country girls make do, and that's me. Oh, never mind. Just had to remind it of the quality, and it believed me. But yeah, so as always with replay review, every time, right, is if you're lost about things to find, like places to find points of analysis, things you could do better, whenever you lose your turn, whenever you get hit, right? That'll certainly help. This is pre-master Raha, true. But Raha also, I believe, so Clover Clash is happening right now. The last Clover Clash that I was in, Raha was on my team and beat Vermilion while they were in S++, I think. So, Raha's rank has not reflected their proper skill for a long time. Right? Like, to be fair, it was first to 1, I get it, but like still, Vermilion got like 5th at Evo and Raha beat them on Ferry versus 2B. So, like, S++ Raha, do not mistake it too much. Now, on the other hand, MBK also very strong. Maybe they beat their ass in this. Raha's asking for help, so probably. Anyway, without too much further ado, when you get hits, when you lose your turn, right? These are great times to analyze what you're doing and try to figure out what you're doing wrong. Obviously, as far as aggressors and I think that means Raha won Evo, so true. The transitive property does work like that in fighting games, as we all know from history, right, guys? But anyway, aggressor defender, we don't have to talk about. Obviously, Ferry is a defender in almost every matchup that she's in. You want to try and keep Belial away from you, certainly, but easier said than done. Let's see here. Okay, good spot dodge on the fireballs right away. Interesting. The JL does hit from pretty high up, right? I never really thought about it like that, but I guess, yeah, Ferry does. Like, that JL probably is pretty hard to 2H. It's good. It hits from so deep, right? Or hits so deep from so high, rather. What happened here? Why exactly? Okay, yeah, just kind of got fuzzy matched there, I think. At this level, you gotta probably expect that everyone is fuzzy matching to try and catch gaps in your stagger pressure, right? You have to really switch up your timings, or else they're gonna kill you. Okay. Guess, yeah, counter hit Brave counter. Interesting, that's just not real. I guess you have to throw the GG right away if you wanted the frame data to not just get smacked there. Because that's like, he straight up just ignored GG and hit you in the face. Okay, good DP. I mean, you know, it hits at the very least. Oh, good DP in the sense that you kind of just have to get away from Belial. This is, I mean, this is, so it's, so far, basically, both instances here, I think you've been getting when you've actually gotten offense, you've gone close H for Ferry's close H is +3. If you didn't know, it's why Ferries love doing that like close H frame trap a lot of the time. But I think you're just getting fuzzy matched, right? If you don't know what I'm talking about with fuzzy matching, just in case you're newer or more intermediate in general, it is basically, well, fuzzy matching as a whole it applies to many different things. A lot of delay teching can count as fuzzy matching as well, but what this is stagger pressure is very common in this game. Someone doing plus button into like a gap, right? And if you basically if they're just doing if they leave the gap, you can basically delay a little bit and mash and it'll hit them, right? MBK just made a read. It happened earlier too, Kina. Like literally earlier, like on the first time they got pressure in the match too, is why I'm a little bit suspicious that he might be, right? Because this exact thing happened right over here, right? Maybe he just matched twice and got red. Regardless, even with that in mind, right? Mixing up your timings on how you do your staggers is still important, right? Or how represented the frame trap option? I mean, this was literally the very first time they ran offense, right? I don't think he's quite adapting to them just yet. But I see your point. Point being, though, if you are doing the same gaps in your pressure every time, people can just mash on a delay, and if you frame trap, it'll catch it, and if you leave a gap, they'll hit you, right? Yeah, it's still important to switch up your timings, and a lot of people at this level are doing that, right? They are actually just straight up fuzzy mashing on your ass. It's true. It's impossible to tell if MBK was doing that or if he just got lucky twice, right? But it's still worth considering. Anyway. Yeah, you're going for the JL there again, huh? Because you got counter hit? So I assume you jumped into JL. I think in general it's better to force out a DP early by frame trapping more early. It's definitely... So here's the problem, right? Is like, you're right? Frame trapping early is the safer play, right? For sure. But it gets to a point where, you know, it's like, once there is so much, like, when you're playing at, like, not necessarily, like, intermediate levels and stuff, that is the established, like, there's already some conditioning coming in just walking into the set, right? There is some established, precedent that, like, oh, they're probably just gonna frame trap me, right? So you can try and steal some turns back-to-back from people, or, like, early tick throw or something like that. Because people are not super likely to just be, like, random mashing on your pressure, right? And I still am not entirely convinced that's what MBK is doing here anyway. Frame trapping can only do so much. Yeah, like, it is the safest option, though. I mean, like, maybe at this point, like, maybe you could say he is, but, like, he really sure is mashing on every single one of these gaps. Either he just straight up is not respecting you at all because the risk reward is just in his favor because he's Belial and you're Ferry. Fair. Maybe he is just mashing and you haven't frame trapped him yet. At this point, by the way, number 3 in here, yeah, you should definitely stop leaving so many gaps in your pressure. Right? Regardless of whether, you know, I was right or Kino was right about the first 2 interactions, no matter what he's doing, you should definitely start frame trapping here at this point, right? Like guy who matches on you twice and kills you for it in the first round, you have to stop him from doing this in one way or another. You have to, like, on the 3rd try, you definitely have to start representing that, oh, I'm not just going to keep leaving gaps in my offense over and over. That was, I mean, you know, that counts. Close H into her little spinny right there. Because MBK is, like, very much not respecting your offense at all right now. And the first time it's like, oh, you know, maybe. The second time it's like, you really have to switch it up, though. You can't just let him continuously mash out of your pressure forever and ever. This is rough. Okay. This works, right? There's a gap here? Oh, it doesn't really. Damn. Okay, I guess it's not fast enough. Yeah, I mean, fair enough. I know what you're trying to go for there, because when Belial does this little spinny, there is a gap here, right? You can see it's not a true block string. So they tried to go for invuln and smack him, but I guess, yeah, it either... I'm not sure if you could have done this earlier or what, or if it's just that Ferry's SSBA is, like, too slow on startup or something. But yeah, you got hit, but or maybe there's not enough invuln on her SSBA. Ferry SSBA is pretty notoriously garbage, right? For multiple reasons, that might not have worked. But I think that was a solid idea. It just so happens you didn't have the horses for that. Makes 3 times now that Ra's gotten hard knockdown and has chosen to run at Belial rather than just continue zoning or using GG. Yeah, I'm not sure if they're, like, respecting maybe 5U or something a little bit too much, but... That is a good point, yeah, that I haven't really seen too much of a... I guess, you know, maybe it's because the one time they tried GG so far, they got hit for it, and they didn't really make the connection. That was just because they waited too long and wasted their plus frames. Like, maybe they've kind of been scared off their zoning in the mid-range by far H. Possibly, but... It is still definitely, like, your only win con in this is, yeah, exactly this, right? To keep the fellow away from you. Okay, get back throw, sure. Interesting. Back throw again, I'm not so sure about back throwing him the second time, right? maybe you were just trying to like shimmy and then you tried to throw him, and therefore you were just holding back, but you definitely don't want to throw Belial out of the corner right there. To be fair, the damage you take off this combo is probably pretty similar anyway, even if, when he gets to that far H, but still not a good idea in general. Maybe we're trying to go for like some sort of side swap mix-up, but it's just not worth it. Keep him in the corner. Good spot dodges on the fireballs, certainly. Ah, yeah. He's just not fast enough, GG. You, Gespenst, probably would have won you out there, but... Classic back front to shimmy and get mashed on again. Yeah, I'm still a little bit surprised I've not seen a frame trap yet, I'm not gonna lie to you. This can be the kind of thing that can be hard to parse in real time, right? But something like this, like, he has mashed on your offense literally every single time you've had a turn, right? Like, this is, like, right here... Oh, dude, okay. I think you tried to frame trap here, to be fair, right? Yeah. I'm not saying dude in terms of like Raha. I'm not being like Raha, why aren't you playing better? I'm saying like MBK really does he's just fucking going for it, huh? Yeah. I think they tried to frame trap here. I think Raha did try to frame trap here, but I'm actually not sure. Is Ferry MBK has zero respect for Raha. Yeah, like, I want to be very, very clear. I'm not going like, dude, like why is Raha doing? Yeah, no, don't get me wrong. MBK is doing the right thing. Right? I'm just saying, like, it is crazy to see, like, it's literally been every single time, right? Oh, her 5L's only +2. Okay, I was like, is her close H, like, 10 frames or something? But no, her 5L's only +2, not +4. That's rough for her, I see. So, yeah, probably tried to do close L, close H, right? Where close H at that point is basically a 6-frame button because of the +2, if it is 8 frames. Is very close H 8 frames? Let me go get some... Get the dust loop up real quick, so I'm actually not entirely... I think even if it is, though, which is the fastest that close H's get, by and large, right? At that point, it's basically a 6-frame button, and Belial close L is obviously a 5-frame button, so you still lose right there. So yeah, Ferry cannot... Her close H is... Oh, 9 frames, even. Yeah, so even worse, right? So again, if she's +2 off her close L, so that makes this 9 frames essentially 7, and his close L is 5. So yeah, I think that's what happened right there. I think he was I think Raha was trying to frame trap there, but he kind of got right. He tried to do close L, close H like most characters can do, but Ferry can't. Maybe I think this was an attempt to frame trap though, so that's the right idea, right? But my point is definitely I just want to be very clear that I'm not like disparaging Raha for not doing this. You're playing a tournament, you're playing against a very good player, like mistakes happen, right? I'm just saying like it is crazy that MBK has literally mashed every single time. Again, correct, but like he is very trusting in his read that there are going to be no frame traps happening here. And also makes, again, the risk reward in the mid screen is kind of in his favor anyway. Right, like if he gets this counter hit, he gets all of this damage, and Ferry most certainly, even if Ferry gets the close H counter hits, she's not doing that to him, right? So like it is one of the, it's another reason why people were talking earlier about. This is probably being played a little bit too aggressively and too much in Belial's face. This is kind of a realization I've had with Eustace recently, right? Where, like, even when I was running, like, proper offense and frame trapping and stuff, I was like, it just feels bad to run offense on Eustace in the mid-screen, because my mid-screen is so ass, unless I have, red grenade on the guy, I just, like, don't do damage in the mid-screen, so it almost feels like, even though I'm quote-unquote, like, I'm doing the right things on offense, like, rotating between, frame traps and stagger pressure and throws and shimmies, stuff like that, I'm just losing anyway, and it's because my risk reward is so bad in the mid-screen. I'm doing like 2k if I hit them, and most characters are doing like most characters are doing like something like double that in the mid-screen, right? If they get like a counter hit on you because like they mashed on you trying to delay something, right? Similar thing here, but to the extreme. You're Ferry, you have 1,000 less health, and that's Belial, right? This guy hits like a fucking truck almost from anywhere, especially if he's got the meter and he's got some cooldowns. So another reason where people are talking about, oh, you're just running up at him. One of the reasons that's not good is exactly because of how lopsided this is. Even if you had gotten like the full punish right there, and you got like counter hit, close H into your full combo, you probably don't do this much damage to him, right? Like that's your ideal situation. He got a counter hit close L and he did that to you. He had 100 meter, to be fair, right? But yeah. Okay, so there's two things to sort of talk about here primarily, I think. Yeah, the fuzzy mashing thing, there's going to be a better replay review to focus on this. Whether MBK was fuzzy mashing the first couple of times or not, he probably did eventually just go, oh, well, this motherfucker's not frame trapping me, so I'm just going to keep mashing regardless, right? So there definitely is a lot to be mentioned of, like, I would say, the first, I don't think it's, people were saying earlier, was it Tubby, I forget, who said, like, that you shouldn't have done this right away. I don't think that's so bad, right? Like, going for something that isn't the most, like, the safest, most default option on your first try at offense is not bad necessarily. It might be a good idea to do safe things first in order to like try to feel out your opponent and see how they react to the normal stuff, right? But trying to go for something unorthodox is not a horrible idea on the first time, right? Here, I mean, the next time you get hit here is a little bit, we got hit for out of GG there. This is a little bit unfortunate, is because like I'm not maybe you weren't completely sure that like this was gonna get hit like that, right? But like still, even if this wasn't necessarily like you're trying to go close H into JL, but again, that only really stops him if he's down backing, right? If he's just sitting there blocking. After this, you really need to frame trap him at least once. And again, to Ra's credit, they have this idea. They just do it a little bit too late, and they do it in a way that apparently Ferry can't do. Right? Like Ferry, I just learned today that Ferry close L cannot really frame trap into anything besides her close L, I suppose, because only +2 and her close H is 9 frames, right? So that's one of the big things for sure. Is just it's more of a fundamental offensive concept of like, if a dude is mashing on you, like you just take, people say it as a cope a lot of the time, but like genuinely, this first round is data, right? Like I think it's fine what you were doing in the first round. I mean, also I guess. Probably this is more of a Ferry specific knowledge thing, but like understanding that you can't do you can't like do GG here. You can't like delay and then GG. You have to GG right away. I did not realize that far H just hit you out of this, but yeah. But besides that, like this first round is mostly data. From this round though, you have to start thinking about, okay, what happened there? He mashed on me every single, like both times I got offense, he immediately mashed. Oh yeah, actually that's a good point. There's maybe Kina is right, because like there was not a big delay. Like, it was not like, it looked like as soon as he was actionable, his ass was mashing, right? It's like, okay, he mashed on me both times, I gotta do something about this. And like, maybe then he adapts and he does something and he expects you and he goes 2 steps ahead or whatever, but like, at the very least, you need to, answer the first level of like, I have to start frame trapping him. But the second thing, and the more interesting thing, and the thing that I think is more specific to Ferry here, and isn't just like, again, fundamental universal offense stuff, is like, maybe it's just, when you get these knockdowns, let me find like a good example. I mean, I guess it is this one right here at the very end that kills you, for example. Like, where does this start? So you get, yeah, like you get this, right? Yeah, like you get some nice pressure, things like this. Maybe what you do here is not, I mean, yeah, this is the throw into the other throw, right? Into this, like, yeah, oh, like you were thinking about it there too. Maybe what you do here when you get these knockdowns is not run a Belial, right? Just because in the grand scheme of things, offense, in theory, is a RPS situation that is favored for you, the attacker. But honestly, in the mid screen here, and with it being Ferry versus Belial, that's kind of debatable, right? Like, again, I genuinely do wonder, like, oh, this is not what I'm thinking of. I'm thinking of, oh no, yeah, this is, I was thinking of later when you tried to get the frame trap. I mean, even in that case, right? Like, you're not gonna hit him that hard. I mean, you have SBA in this case, so maybe, right? Like, in a lot of cases, you're just not, like, even without meter, both of you, you're just not gonna hit Belial as hard as he's gonna hit you. Yeah, it was the next round, my bad. The one I was thinking of is over here, yeah, where you try to, again, you get a hard knockdown Brave counter, maybe don't run a Belial here, right? Like, maybe, like, learn from the mistake in the first round. Don't delay and throw GG. Like, get the hard knockdown Brave counter and then immediately toss GG or something. I'm not entirely sure what, like, the optimal mid-screen Ferryoki is, but I'm sure you know it better than I do, Raha. But, like, yeah, like, this situation, even though you are on offense and R+, this situation is probably just straight up not in your favor. You're probably going to take more damage on average here than you do to Belial on average, right? If we, like, did some rough back-of-the-napkin math for how likely every situation is to happen. Like, and even if close L, close H does work here, and you close L, close H's ass, do you do this much to him? I really don't, especially with him having super and you not having super, which is another thing you could take into account for, like, a reason to approach or not to approach. But in that case, without super, there's no way you hit him half this hard, right? So, I'm pretty sure you can throw GG there. Yeah, the mistake Raha made earlier was they walked up for a second and then threw GG. They kind of, like, staggered a sec, and that caused them to get hit. But yeah, I think there's something to be said about just, like, you're a zoner, like, stick to the mid-screen, like, stick to the mid-range. Get your Oki, at the very least, yeah, put GG on or something to the point where you can make your shit way more advantageous, or make the situation in general way more advantageous for you, right? Yeah. Again, it's something I mentioned with Eustace too, but it's, yeah, that situation may just straight up not be in your favor, I think. And Dragon got you some advice there too. It's nice. But yeah, I think that's the two main things that I noticed there. Is definitely you have to realize he's matching on you in frame trap, and also you have to. This is something again I literally would never have thought of had I not played a character with bad mid screen, because so far I've played Vasaraga and I've played Ladiva and I've played Sora's, all characters that hit you very, very hard when they touch you, right? Sora's is probably the worst of those three in the mid screen, even then. At least when I played him pre-patch, before he had the 5-frame HDP, right? Like, even then, none of those characters really do bad mid-screen damage, so when I switched to Eustace, I was like, oh shit, it's actually like, kind of bad for me to just run offense in my opponent's face, because I end up taking more damage than they do, on average. Right? Alright, so next is this little replay from Kira, and they're saying, I don't know what to do against this kind of playstyle. I'm curious. Oh boy. We got the NES Grand Blue. Alright, let's see. What is this kind of playstyle? I'm curious. Is it a guy who DPs all the time? Okay. He's gonna be plus after that knockdown. Mashing on wake up's probably not the best idea. I like the Unisonics over the Fireballs, so it works out pretty well. Okay. Kira obviously is the Bubs if you're unfamiliar. Kira does play Bubs. Bisu here on the Siegfried is the opponent. I do love how the particle effects, like, unironically, I like how the particle effects look on, like, lower quality Grand Blue. There's almost more going on, right? We're reviewing Kira? It's true. Yes, indeed we are. So what is this playstyle exactly? I guess this first round they win. I'm trying to see where things kind of go off the rails. Because so far the Siegfried just maybe seems like a little bit aggressive. Like, they DP'd pretty early on. Okay. I mean, DPing Unisonic there makes sense. Yeah, I mean, he's definitely a little bit aggressive on defense, right? But it seems like so far, Kira's doing okay against it. I'm just gonna try and watch the whole thing to try and get an idea of what exactly they're referring to when they say this kind of playstyle, and then we can talk about it in a little bit more depth, since they have like a pointed exact question, right? So I want to try and understand it a little bit more in depth. Interesting. They're trying to 2H there to call out the... I mean, the Siegfried is definitely... They're not sitting still very much, right? It is a more aggressive person, but so far nothing has been too special, I think. Just like a little bit more aggressive than average. They definitely are more inclined to hit buttons than block, right? Okay, so I mean, it's going great so far. What's going on, Ophidian? Hello. I like the preemptive spot dodge, but oh no, it's too early. Or is that is a spot dodge, right? Yeah. Preemptive spot dodge, you're actually too early. Nice bait on the DP. I mean, so far it seems like you've got the idea, right? Like, yeah, this person DPs and mashes and spot and, like, you know, supers even. You tried to spot dodge it there, you were too early. You baited the DP, you've been frame trapping and killing them for mashing. It seems fine so far. Let's see if it kind of falls apart as the set goes on here. Because so far it seems like the kind of play style is very aggressive and you have a very good answer for it. So I'm kind of wondering where it all comes down. So that's interesting. I'm gonna try and keep moments when, like, it feels like, yeah, I feel like getting counter hit is the kind of thing that gets you annoyed. I want to see if that happens in a lot of similar. You are mashing on wake up a lot, actually. I will say, like, you've been hit mashing on wake up a couple of times at this point. Oh, nice delayed close H. Yep. Interesting. I mean, you're dead, unfortunately. This is going to be Siegfried Super is going to do more than enough. Yeah, didn't even need the last hit. The last hit doesn't really do that much damage on that thing, right? Okay. I didn't realize that his needles could anti-air like that, but it makes sense. Yeah, I wonder if you're the kind of playstyle you just haven't realized. I might hit you with like some therapist bullshit here. Hold on a second. I need to watch the rest of this, but like, I think you and the Siegfried are the same playstyle. It just so happens that for maybe in the next couple games he gets the better of you. Oh, I mean, that's fair. Yeah, you just can't play the video game like that when Sieg's got 100 meter. Man, I think you're the playstyle. Yep. Okay. Wait, give me the next game. I want to watch the full thing before making my judgment. That's just Sieg, yeah. All right, so this is the last game. I think this is a best of 3. Yeah. I mean, the Siegfried definitely is not blocking very much, right? Bisu, he is DPing, he is hitting buttons on defense a lot. He reverse supered the one time he was able to, right? The thing is, I think you're doing the exact same thing. I think you are also mashing on wake up and DPing and spot dodging on defense and things like this, right? So I think you actually have a pretty good idea of how to play against him. It's just that when he does, like, when one of the DPs lands or something and he gets his turn, he kills you because you're doing the same thing, and he also knows how to stop someone who's being very aggressive and impatient on defense, right? That's currently my understanding of what's going on here. Asking how to fight their demons? Yeah, like, he's just you in the mirror. Also, can Bubs OS the Siegfried Rekka? Does he have a 7-frame low? Is his 2M 7 frames? His 2U I don't think is. Yeah, okay. Let me check. Yeah, if it's 2M or 2U or something. Maybe if it's 2L is like really big, but I don't think it is. Oh, yeah. Karma, yeah, Karma's not a block string. That's actually pretty good by Bisu there to acknowledge that. That one, not so much, but yeah, I think he more so just got caught far H-ing rather than far H on reaction to it. You can fuzzy Sieg Rekka. If you have a 7-frame 2M or 2U, yes. You can beat every option that isn't parry. If you're close enough, that's why you need to be big too. If you're close enough, 2M is 7? Okay, yeah, so you can OS Orkin. Yeah, Orkin is not a very good pressure tool, actually, against most of the casts. It becomes parry or eat a full 2M starter, which is not good for Sieg as RPS. Oh, she drops his combo there. Nice. Because the Uva gets hit before it takes off, the big upward swing whiffs because you're crouching, and the command grab gets hit, and Rekka into nothing gets hit also. It'll beat every single option except for parry. So it becomes, yeah, Siegfried has to really start representing parry a lot more, which is also the least safe Rekka option. I'm being dumb and not using it enough? Yep. Siegfried Orkin, Siegfried is very good. Siegfried Orkin is good, but not necessarily as like a mix-up tool. Yeah, okay. I'm gonna be real with you, man. You know, the part in like every super cliche like action movie where the villain turns to the hero and says, "We're not so different, you and I." You and the Siegfried are the same person, right? You are both, yeah, there you go. Dragon hit the nail on the head too, right? You and Bisu are both very, like, playing very aggressively, and there's nothing wrong with that, by the way, but it's clearly just, like, Bisu's very good as well. But it's just that those are your playstyles. 8-frame is getting Uva'd? Yeah. No, 8-frame, is it Uva? I think this 8-frame, it gets caught by... Yeah, I think so. I think it's Uva that beats the 8-frames. It's airborne before the 8-frame goes or something. It's either, yeah, I think so. It's either the Uva or it's the little upward slash, but I believe one of the two will catch it, yeah. Like, Lodiva cannot do this, I know for a fact, but I forget which button breaks that. Maybe it's both of them, honestly. Anyway, I don't want to get too far on a tangent here before we address this. Probably caught by the H follow-up? Yeah, Uva. It probably goes airborne before you can hit him, is my guess. Like, it low crushes you or something. Maybe if your 2M doesn't hit low? I don't know, well, we can test it out at some point, but... so what I was going to say here is both you and Bisu are playing very aggressively, and that's fine. But the thing is, it feels like he knows when to turn the dial down a little bit, right, on defense. Whereas you are even more, like, you're even more impatient on defense than he is. So he's DPing on defense a lot. He's reversal supering, he's mashing, he's spot dodging. He's very prone to try and get out of your pressure without actually holding it. But every now and then he is like, he knows when to dial the knob a little bit. Whereas it feels like you are much more on that, like, impatient end of the spectrum. And, like, every time he lands one of those DPs, like, so in game one, it goes great, right? In game one, it's mostly your turn. He hasn't quite figured out how to win the neutral against you yet. And again, he is being very aggressive. He's mashing on wake up right there. He's mashing on that frame trap right there, right? He DP'd, which you baited. You tried to bait a reversal SSBA at some point. I think it's right here, right? You tried to bait a reversal SSBA. It didn't work, but you had the right idea. You had the right reads. You were just 2+, actually. Is it right here, I think? Oh, no. Is he just dead? Oh, okay, it's next round. But yeah. Anyway, so you had the right idea. The problem is, once you started getting put on the defense, you were mashing just as much, if not more, than he was. And he kind of took advantage of that, and, I mean, he's going to do more damage than you are on a counter hit, usually, on average, right? Bubs and Siegfried both do pretty high damage, but he kind of is that guy, right? So, how to play against this kind of playstyle is, on offense, you have the right idea. It's actually your playstyle on defense that was killing you, right? You were just being far too impatient. Yeah, I mean, if you don't want to block, Brave Counter is a safe option, but there were a lot of times where you were, like, DPing, or trying to spot dodge, or trying to mash on wake up and stuff like that, and that's what got you killed. It really almost had very little to do with Bisu himself. Again, I dare say that you were actually pretty good at holding Bisu down when you had the go, right? It's kind of a you problem, right? Yeah, and Dragon is basically giving you the exact same thing right there, right? So, yeah, like, honestly, very good to find, like, a very pointed question, right? But again, the reality is it's not really it's not really his playstyle, it's your playstyle. That's kind of causing you some issues there, right? Real quick, let's talk about the Siegfried Rekka OS thing, because it comes up every now and then. Does Uva I don't know exactly when he's airborne. God, I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure it's this that catches you, because this just whiffs as long as you're crouching, right? So I think it is. Yeah, this will go up and kill you. And this is, like, the more common Siegfried Rekka follow-up anyway. It's -6, but it's often spaced out enough to be safe, right? So I believe if you don't have if it's 8 frames, this is what hits you, I think. I think you do go not like in the startup because it does start up very slowly, right? But more so, I think that it leaves the ground when you die. I am curious enough to want to test that, but we can do that later potentially. Oh no, I want my Monster Hunter music back. Give it back, give it back. Oh, actually, that reminds me. I know what we're gonna play for the next replay review. I've not seen a single Sieg post-patch. He's relatively common-ish still. He's not, well, okay. He's not, like, super popular, but I've seen Sieg. I guess he's pretty relative. You see him in bracket a lot. But I guess maybe in ranks, not quite so much. But yeah. So I guess real quick to summarize, right? For Raha, it was just, like, not frame trapping your opponents, but then also not realizing that some situations are just, like, bad for you due to the nature of your character archetype. And like the damage differential in a matchup. Very high damage character in Belial versus very low damage character in Ferry. So even your offense was kind of disadvantageous for you if you ran it right in his face. And you should just stick to the place where you can interact and he can't. AKA, you know, GG on his face, throwing whips and stuff like that. Or kind of being at that mid-range basically where it's harder for him to fight you outside of far H distance. And then for Akira, it really was, yeah, just like... I think because I wonder if it's almost because you won that first game so, like, handily, that you're like, it should be my turn still. So every time he DP'd, you're like, you still aren't, yeah, you're still doing this? Okay, but it's fake. And then you tried to mash on wake up and got killed. But it definitely is more of just like a patience on defense thing, right? Bisu definitely got more patient as the set went on, too. Like, he definitely he still did it, but he started blocking more and DPing less and stuff like that. Less. He didn't stop. As the set went on, where I feel like you kind of did not really. You kind of continued trying to jump out of his pressure, trying to mash out of his pressure, and stuff like that. Cool. All right, so that is going to do it for this first replay review, I think. We'll do one more here on stream, but real quick, let me just say goodbye to the VOD watchers. Hello, VOD watchers. Hi, how you doing? Hope you had a good time with the video. If you did, any kind of like subscribes, comments, bells, all that good stuff helps out a lot. I also do stream every day from 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern, except for Fridays. So come by and hang out on either Twitch or YouTube. I also have a Discord. You're looking at it. If you want to post the replays, people will get to them faster than I do. You see this one was posted yesterday, and already someone is helping out. Right? There's 5 messages on this, 2 messages on this. People will get to it and help out a lot earlier than I will. But, you know, one day, my backlog will not be so big as well. But yeah, if you want to join the Discord, link in the description. But be nice, or I'll shoot you in the head in Minecraft. It's a nice community. I'd like to keep it that way. And yeah, most importantly, I hope you had a good time hanging out today, as always. I know I sure did. Interesting reviews this time around. And yeah, have a lot of fun with Granblue. Going to be a lot more coming your way. And until then, I will see you in the next one. Peace.